name is Brad. We're at the Foot Lab at High Tempo, and we're going to talk today about custom orthotics. What are they, why are they, and how do you do it? So this is a plastic model of a human foot. This is what we all have, 26 bones, 33 joints, and every single one of these bones in the foot grows at a different rate for every human being. So your feet are as unique to you as your fingerprints are. So when a ski boot manufacturer designs a ski boot, they're designing around a statistical average foot. And nobody has that foot. We all have some kind of a variation in our foot. So when we're putting our foot inside a ski boot, we're setting our foot on top of a foam pad that comes with the boot. So that foam pad has no support to it. They're accommodative inserts. They're designed to not be offensive to anybody that puts their foot inside that ski boot. But the problem for skiing is that the movement of the feet to both sides is absolutely critical to making sure that you can ski both ways. Or make sure that you can turn both ways. So what we're going to look at now is just what are some of the mechanics of the foot. So to start with, we want to look at the posture of the human foot. So on my right foot here, there are three postures that the human population have. One is supination. That's about 5% of the population. These people load the outside of their foot. They have a high instep and a high arch. The perfect foot, the neutral foot, represents about 15% of the population. And then most of us, including me, have feet that pronate, or they roll to the inside like that. So that's about somewhere between 75 and 80% of the population. So the way the human foot works and the way the lower leg works is the lower leg is a hinge on the ankle joint. So if I have the perfect posture of the foot and I bend my knee tracks over the foot just the way that joint is supposed to work. Now when the foot pronates or rolls to the inside, the ankle joint rotates with the foot and the shaft of the leg is going to rotate inward. So if you look at the shaft of my leg now, when that foot rotates, the shaft of the leg rolls in. So now when I bend my knee, I have a knee moving in this plane instead of this plane. So inside a ski boot, without support, when I'm going to roll this way, the foot is going to collapse, the shaft of the leg is going to rotate, and now I'm going to have a leg that looks like this A-frame stance. If I can support the foot inside the boot, so I hold it in a neutral posture, now when I roll my leg, my foot is not going to collapse, my lower leg is not going to rotate, and I'm going to have much more power and precision in the turn. So equal movements this way, equal movements this way are going to give me equal edge angles in the snow. Okay, to start with, when we start looking at orthotics for ski boots, one of the things I did long ago is try a bunch of different orthotics. And we found out that we need a orthotic that has enough rigidity to the sole to transmit energy. So we're using an orthotic today that has that material. This is actually an orthotic that we manufacture ourselves. And we're going to start by putting this into the oven and heating it up. So I'll be right back in a second. So now we've got the orthotic blanks out of the oven, and they're super hot, and not hot, but malleable and moldable. I'm going to lay the blanks down onto the pillows here. I'm going to take the foot, hold that, don't step down yet, just kind of float there so I can get you centered. And I'm going to have you step down onto that for me, please. And on this side here, we're going to hold that and get that centered, and you're down on that. Starting with this foot here, I'm going to ask you to tip your foot, roll it just a tad. I'm going to hold on just in front of and below the ankle bones here. There's a little hollow spot that has a bone in there called the talus. So I want you to roll a little bit and now slowly come back for me. Stop it right there. When the talus is centered, I have this joint in neutral, which is how I want to cast this. And it's going to feel like she's standing on the outside of her foot a little bit. We're going to do the same thing over here. And we're going to come back just a tad, and that's good right there. We're going to put a little bend in our knees. We're going to stand with all of our weight down onto the pillows. We're hanging onto the bars above for balance. And we want to stand centered on our feet. So we have the same amount of pressure under the heel as we have under the ball of the foot. And we're going to hold this here for just a couple seconds. and the heat is going to come out of the blank, and it will be rigid and ready for us to do the work in the back of the room. Okay, Kate, let's have you grab the bars and lift yourself straight up and off. So now when we're done, we end up with an orthotic blank that is the perfect weight of a weighted foot. And a weighted foot is a different shape than a non-weighted foot, as for example when the orthotic is done while you're seated. This gives us a true image of what the foot is going to look like when it's standing inside the boot on the snow.